So you have a trip planned to Disney World. That's really exciting. It's a lot of fun, but it can be overwhelming. So we're going to talk about how to tackle each park, and today we're going to talk about the Magic Kingdom. We're going to give you some tips and strategies on how we go about tackling a day at Magic Kingdom. I'll break it down into like what is a rope drop and what you should do early in the morning, what's a lightning lane strategy to use, or the best rides you should ride. And then, of course, I'll talk about the best places to eat. So stay tuned to see how the Daniels do Magic Kingdom. Hey, I'm Karen with Daniels Do Adventures, and today we're going to start with Magic Kingdom. And the first thing we're going to talk about is how to rope drop. Okay, so you've got your Disney trip planned. You've picked somewhere very magical to stay. Now, where do you start and what do you do? Well, first you have to pick which day you want to go to which park. Does it matter? Yes and no, maybe kind of. Some things to think about is knowing that you walk the most at Epcot and Magic Kingdom. They're the biggest parks. There's the most to do there. Make sure you have fresh, not tired legs when you do those parks. They also offer extra magic hours for deluxe resorts, the fancy, expensive resorts. So if you're staying in one of those, you're going to want to go to the parks that offer those. If you're not staying in one of those, you're going to maybe not want to go to the parks that are offering those. Okay, so it's park day. You've got your little Disney Mickey Mouse outfits picked out for everybody, and you're ready to go to the park. But how do you do that and when do you do that? So if you're staying on property, if you're at one of the Disney resorts, here that you should go, make your way to the transportation 1 hour before the park opens. So if you get 30 extra minutes, if you're staying on property at the park. So if the park opens at 8 o'clock for everyone else, early entry for you is 7:30. Make your way to the transportation at 6:30. Yes, it's early. It's worth it. Do it. Just keep reminding yourself that you can sleep on weekends and that you paid a lot of money for this trip. It'll help to keep you going. Once you arrive to Magic Kingdom, they're not going to let you into the gates. They're going to start forming lines at the gate. So you're just going to hop in one of those lines and very patiently wait. Maybe you grabbed yourself a little breakfast bar and put it in your bag, and now's a good time you can get that breakfast bar out. They're going to probably let you in a little bit earlier, like maybe 7 o'clock if entry starts at 7:30. So you're going to get to go into the gate early, and then they're going to go. They're going to put you over at either Fantasyland or Tomorrowland. So for rope drop, if you're there early for early entry, only Fantasyland and Tomorrowland are open for early entry. So you're going to want to go to the right and you're going to want to choose. Are you going to do like Seven Dwarfs or Peter Pan first? Or are you going to do Tron first? And they're basically going to divide into that. Tomorrowland is going to be your Tron folks. Your other Fantasyland is going to be your Seven Dwarfs or even sometimes Peter Pan folks. So for us, we went into the Tron section at Tomorrowland. And again, you just sit there and you wait. And so we waited there for 20-ish minutes. Again, a good time. If you brought a little breakfast, get that out and eat it then. So then once early entry actually opens, which was like 7:30, they're going to let you go start forming a line. Tron doesn't actually open until 8 o'clock. So for us, we just basically spent our early entry to get in line for Tron. Now, the debate is why wait in all of those lines when you can just go get in line at any time during the day when it's a 75-minute wait? Well, for us, number one, it's exciting to get up and do rope drop. For number two, it gets us up and early so that we get the most important, favorite, busiest ride out of the way before the park even really opens to everyone else. And number three, standing in one of those standstill lines for 75 minutes is a lot more boring than what we're doing early in the morning. So you're going to form a line, and if you're at Fantasyland, you're going to get to go get in line and get on those rides. But for Tron, basically every morning we did rope drop. Once they start once they release you into the land, it's the chaos walk. So everybody is not running because you're not supposed to, but they are walking mad crazy. And then eventually, once you get close to the ride, they're going to start wanting you to form a line. But basically, every time we did a rope drop, we never stopped walking until we got right up to get on the ride. So you're not standing there waiting in a 2 hour line, moving 3 feet or 5 feet every 8 minutes. You're constantly moving. You're going, you're forming this really long line, and then you're walking through the queue, and you really never stop. So that's another reason why we like to do rope drop, to get the busiest, fanciest rides out of the way first. So for us, for Magic Kingdom, now in the current state that it's in, we rope drop Tron. Now, we were actually off of the ride at 8 a.m. So clearly they were letting people on before the 8 o'clock. And we were done with the ride. We went to rope drop at 8 o'clock. And so then we wanted to jump on Space Mountain, but it was closed. So we looked around and rode Buzz Lightyear and Astro Orbiter right there in Tomorrowland quickly with no lines. Now, if you are not a resort guest, one of the strategies that is suggested is that you go to Adventureland right before 8 o'clock. So you line up at 7:30 outside of Adventureland, and then you can choose which of those rides you want to ride. I mean, a lot of people say ride Jungle, and then you'll get to Pirates, and then you could even do Big Thunder or Haunted Mansion, all really early. And so my favorite is Big Thunder. That's where I would probably go first, but it's up to you. If you're going to not be a resort guest, to consider going early to the other side of the park, to Adventureland and Frontierland. All right, so you have a successful rope drop plan, and you do have a rope drop plan because you should rope drop. Have I mentioned that? Take advantage of the early entry. But once you've got that plan, you got to think about, what are you going to ride? What are you going to do? How are you going to fill your day? Again, can be overwhelming. How do you go about getting your lightning lanes? The first thing to ask yourself is, who are you traveling with? Are you traveling with older kids who just want to ride as much thrill rides as they possibly can? Or are you traveling with little kids who you want to make sure that they spend time in Fantasyland riding Dumbo and Barnstormer? Maybe they want to meet the characters and ride the carousel. So maybe you're going with first timers and you want to make sure that you cover a lot of the basics for Magic Kingdom. So that's the first thing to ask yourself. Who are you going with, and what goals do you want to accomplish with these people? There's a train of thought that says get an early lightning lane, like get a 9 or 9:30 teacups or something very simple that does not fill up, because you can tap into that, ride it, and then it opens up all the other lightning lanes. So what otherwise happens is we didn't get lightning lanes until 10 and 11. And so by the time we use those, a lot of the lightning lanes were already gone for later. And that just leads me to my next general piece of advice is, do not get too overwhelmed with the idea of crowds. Will it be crowded at Disney World when you're there? Yes, it's very busy all the time at Disney World. Every time I look at wait times, the bigger rides have waits, but it's very manageable. Just take it one step at a time. Okay, so it's time to book lightning lanes. You can do that 7 days in advance at 7 a.m. if you are a resort guest, 3 days in advance if you are not a resort guest. And so you're going to get up at 7 o'clock and you're going to have an idea of what rides you already want to ride. Be aware that there are tiered lightning lanes at Magic Kingdom, so you can only choose one ride from a list of Tiana, Big Thunder, Space, Jungle, and Peter Pan. You can only choose one of those, and then you can choose two from the other list of all the other lightning lanes they have. So have in mind just a little strategy of which one of those you want to choose, and then two of the other ones that you want to choose, and then pick your time. For us, we like to choose early, but not too early, because we really appreciate the couple of hours you get to ride as much as you can during that rope drop early time. But we also take a break. That's another one of our tips and strategies. We leave the park during the day and we come back at night when the crowds start to decrease. So a lot of our strategy was get lightning lanes in the morning and ride as much as you can, but don't get them during a window where you might want to go back and take a break. So we take like 2 hours where we don't get lightning lanes, and then we stacked a few up for the evening for when we returned. So when we went back, we had 3 lightning lanes kind of back to back to back to use at night when we returned to the park. Right now, there's a virtual queue for Tiana's ride. You're going to want to watch YouTube videos if you don't know how to do the virtual queue. There's a trick to it. It's all about refreshing right before 7 a.m. But at 7 a.m., you're going to want to get a virtual queue for Tiana. Now, we also got a lightning lane for Tiana. I wish that once we had gotten the virtual queue that we had canceled the lightning lane and modified it for another tier 1 attraction that we really wanted to ride. We ended up riding Tiana's twice though, so that's not a bad thing. One of us just got a little extra soaked on the second time we rode it. Another thing to remember is you have all these great rides that you should get lightning lanes for, but don't forget some of the fill-in attractions that you don't need lightning lanes for that are good for when you just need something to do. You need to take a break, you need to slow down. Go see the Country Bear Jamboree. It's been redone. It's really cute. Go see the Feel Our Magic. Go ride the Carousel of Progress. Get in line for the People Mover at night. There was not a line when we went there at night. And those are just things that you kind of sit down and relax, and you don't have to feel like you have to go, 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 go. Another tip we tell you is ride during fireworks. If they're not really a priority, if that show is not really a priority for you, skip it. The lines really decrease at night. We waited for maybe 45 minutes to ride Jungle Cruise early in the evening, and later that night it was a 5-minute walk on. So even on January the 1st, when it was really busy, some of those rides, Pirates of the Caribbean got down to 10 minutes. We rode the 7D with a 20-minute wait at night. So take advantage of the late night hours if they offer those, and stay until park close and skip the fireworks. Okay, the last area we want to go over is the food, because the rides are great, the shows are great, but part of the magic is some of the food. And Magic Kingdom does not have great meals, but they have some great snacks. Magic Kingdom does not have fantastic places to eat. I really wouldn't recommend a sit-down dinner there. The quick services are not super great. You've got Cosmic Rays. They have burgers and chicken sandwiches. You have Harbor House, which is seafood. You have Pecos Bills, which is like a Tex-Mex nachos and kind of stuff. And we didn't eat at any of those places. However, we found ourselves eating lots of pretty hefty snacks throughout the day. This also leads to another one of our tips and secrets we've done in the past, and that is when you leave for a break, instead of coming back to the park, come back to the park, but take the monorail over to the Polynesian Resort. Go to the Tambu Lounge, and there you can order sticky wings. You can order these noodles. You can order the pot stickers, and you can order their amazing pineapple bread pudding in the Tambu Lounge. I think starting at 4 o'clock, you can order those items on that menu. That stuff is fantastic. It saves you from going to eat at Ohana, which is the pricier version of a buffet of that kind of that food plus more. But that's one thing we like to do sometimes, is to take that day to go eat there before coming back into the park. So, like I said, Magic Kingdom does have some pretty amazing snacks. The way I find them is I look under the Disney app, My Disney Experience, go under the dining, and then just look up menus, filter it down to Magic Kingdom, look at menus, and then I highlight, knowing what my family likes, I highlight those things, I jot them down, and then I put them into like a Google Sheet, and then I type that up, and then I save that on my phone. And so I just kind of have where they are and what the items are that we might want to highlight and eat. Here's some highlights of some of the things we just recently ate at Magic Kingdom. Addison wanted a gray stuffed cupcake. We tried the brand new, or new to us, creme brulee croissant. It was amazing. Gaston's Tavern also still has a great cinnamon roll. We found some hot honey chicken, and that's also where you can get your beignets. We Sleepy Hollow used to have this amazing waffle with this chicken, spicy chicken on it. They've redone it. It's a Mickey waffle now with some sweet and spicy chicken. It's still okay. It's still better than some of the park food they have there. Addison really wanted one of these candy popcorn buckets that you can mix and match what you want in the bucket, and it was really good. Our all-time favorite snack at Magic Kingdom are the spring rolls right outside of Adventure Land. Right before you come in, there's like a cart, and they have two types of spring rolls. Typically, it's the cheeseburger and the pepperoni. The cheeseburger spring rolls are amazing. Ainsley really likes the Cheshire Cat tails there as well. So we really didn't eat a meal and go inside anywhere on this trip. We just ate some pretty heavy snacks all day long. But we've eaten at Pecos Bills. We've eaten at Cosmic Ray's. They have Casey Corner, which has hot dogs or corn nugget bites. So you can find food all over the park, but it's just not fantastic. So there you have it. A lot of information about Magic Kingdom, some tips, some strategies on how we do Magic Kingdom. Stay tuned. We'll talk about how to do the other parks at Disney World. And stay tuned to see what else the Daniels do.